perfect neighbor, the pillar of the community. Some of history's most lethal killers have led a double life. One part, Mr. Nice.
He was there smiling on the cover. He was the poster boy.
The other, homicidal maniac.
I got a killer, I got a killer, I got a killer.
Forensic psychologist Lou Schlesinger has spent decades delving into the minds of murderers.
The notion of a serial sexual murderer lives in his mother's basement, kills cats, is just incorrect.
Despite his jovial demeanor, Altemio Sanchez's start to life had been far from happy. As a child, he struggled academically, but Sanchez would insist his biggest challenge was out of school, living with his alcoholic mother.
She would frequently remind Al, you weren't wanted. She openly told him during his life, when she was pregnant with him, that she actually bought a kind of a concoction of drugs that would induce an abortion and use those drugs during her pregnancy.
The unwanted child had been born into a turbulent home in 1958 in Puerto Rico.
He was one of 4 children. There was family tension between mom and dad, and I believe dad left when he was very young. I think he was 2 years old when dad left.
Good evening, and welcome to Up Close. And tonight we'll be studying the phenomena of serial killers. What exactly is a serial killer? By definition, a serial killer is someone who has killed over 3 people over a period of time with a cooling off period. There are several signs to look for a serial killer. It's called the serial killer triad. First would be starting fires, cruelty to animals, and as odd as it sounds, wetting the bed after 12 years old. That would be the definition, technically, of modern-day serial killers. The notion of the odd person hiding in the shadows is somewhat of a myth, and also the notion of a person with a high intellect. Most serial killers have an IQ of around 100, which would be just average. It's rare that they're very intelligent. Bundy was painted to be a brilliant lawyer, and actually, if Bundy had been a good attorney, he'd still be alive.
You're very close to your victim. You're going to be looking in their eyes, aren't you? You're going to be able to see what you're doing to them, aren't you?
That's correct.
Forensic psychologist Lou Schlesinger has analyzed the minds of some of history's most twisted serial killers. For him, the torturous technique carried out on Linda Yalem raises huge concerns.
When you use a ligature or manual strangulation to kill someone, that tells me it's personal, because it's an inefficient way to kill somebody. It takes a long time. They could fight their way out of it. So when you kill with strangulation, that is almost always a sexual element involved, because you're seeing the victim suffer.
Observations, environment doesn't play as large a role as is made out to be. Most people who are involved in this type of crime seem to be born more without a component, a sociopath.